Hello, hello, Connecticut College. Thank you so much for staying until the end of the day to listen to us queer folk whine about our lives. But I promise these next couple of minutes are going to be fun and energetic and honest, and we're going to end this amazing day on a high note. My name is Sal Bigay.
And my name is Rachel Maddox, and we're gay.
Gay! So gay! No, but seriously, thank you to the wonderful TEDx folks for letting us go last, solely for the reason because we wanted to throw glitter. Thank you, you are a vehicle for our flamboyance.
What's past is prologue. Sal and I are both seniors, and our paths didn't cross until this year.
Or so we thought.
We want to take you on a journey of what it's like to be a queer person of color. We want to show you the struggles, the coping mechanisms, the expectations, the highs, the lows, the moments in our lives that made us turn our heads and think,
did they really just say that? Yes, we're talking about you, white America, white heterosexual America. Since the beginning of our lives, we have been othered.
We have been exoticized.
We have been expected to play a certain role because of how we think.
And how we look. The first place we realized this was in the classroom.
Hello, class, please settle down. My name is Professor White. I'm just going to start with attendance. Kate Adams, is Kate here? Oh, absent on the first day, lovely. Drew Andre, is Drew here? Ben Ballard, I know Ben's here, hi Ben. Savannah Berger. Hey girl. And next we have Sal Bigay. Biggie. Bigay. Oh, okay, Sal Bigay. Oh, well, that's exotic. Must be from somewhere tropical, eh, Sal? Where are you from? Oh, New Jersey? Oh, just New Jersey. Oh, well, that's very nice, New Jersey.
That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand how a teacher can make an assumption about your culture, your being, exclusively from reading your name off an attendance list.
This happens to me on the first day of classes every single year since I can remember. A professor will ask me about where I'm from because I'm brown, expecting me to answer something like, yes, I am fresh off the boat from the Philippines. They only ask me. They don't ask the white kids.
We're from New Jersey. Essentializing. Attributing natural, essential characteristics to members of specific culturally defined groups. When we essentialize others, we assume that individual differences can be explained by inherent, biological, natural characteristics shared by members of a group.
Mainstream media has a terribly impactful role in the othering of minorities. While I understand it is important for visibility's sake to portray real Asian and real Black experiences in the mainstream media, such as Fresh Off the Boat or Empire, we must be cautious and aware of the essentializing that is happening. Asians are not diversely represented. They're stereotyped, you know. Asians just love math and malls and karate and selfie sticks and rice and chopstick and having small eyes and being an invisible race.
Honestly, I think I'm so intersectional, it hurts. I am always thinking about something. There's the white expectations that I'm constantly shattering when I tell people that I'm from Princeton and I went to private school. And when I'm not getting knocked around by that, there's the constant worry that I'm not Black enough and that I've sold out to the white lifestyle with my fancy education. And I don't know, I guess I do have a lot of white friends and I date white girls, but wait a minute. Look around. I'm a product of my environment, constantly unable to fill people's boxes. Whether it's navigating the do you have a boyfriend conversation with relatives, even though, hello guys, we're friends on Facebook and you know that I fuck girls, or the inevitable stares that come from people who might see me with a girl on the street and just can't quite figure it out. I take a lot of pride and credit in the fact that I came to terms with my queerness and came out before I got to college. So I was really already gay when I got here. That and the fact that being queer didn't rock my world quite in the same way it might for white people, because I'm already marginalized. I'm already oppressed. I already know what it's like to be spoken to, looked at, treated in a way that isn't right because of part of my identity, because of something that you can see. Being queer doesn't change that one way or another. It just means I get to fuck girls, which is amazing.
My therapists are always so intrigued about my Filipino upbringing. What was it like? Was it soy, hard, and silencing? It was a different type of silence. It sounds like sand sifting between my fingers, the distant rumble of a plane taking off. The silence I grew up with was all about leaving. My parents immigrated to America to make a better life for themselves, for me and my sister. Leaving was the norm, and assimilating was the expectation. White is right, white is right, right is right. My dad would tell me that with a laugh, and the prospect of disappointing my parents, who worked so hard to come to a new country and provide for me and my sister, terrified me. But no, I never thought of my upbringing as abnormal. I knew I was brown, and I was taught white is right, and I used it to my advantage. I knew what I had to do. My immigrant father instilled a determination in me that refuses to be extinguished. It's a different type of perseverance, being able to climb out of two holes at once. Gay and Asian, gay Asian, Gaysian, token Gaysian. We all know and love one, but only one. Only one's allowed, right? My mom stole my dress that I got from Cambodia. It's black and drapey and has orange peacocks kissing the hemline. She stole it straight out of my closet and put it in her own. 1, rude. 2, we don't have the same body type, so what you trying to play? And 3, I stole it back. So we're in Panera Bread, you know the scene, super chic New Jersey strip mall, white tweens everywhere, eating bread bowls and texting their BFFs, adorbs. Me and my mom were in Panera, and she leans over at me all serious and goes, "You don't cross-dress, do you?" And I lean further in and say, "Mom, almost every day, bitch."
I realized this year that I'm gender fluid, which people also call genderqueer or non-binary or some other terms often found in readings for classes that I've never taken, so who knows. What I do know is that I look hot in men's boxers, and I can rock the shit out of a bow tie and suspenders, and that makes me feel good. That's all it is. I told my mom I would not be wearing a dress to graduation, and now she's paying for 3 suits, so be on the lookout for the Rachel Spring line, because it's bound to be dapper as hell. So I spend a lot of time with small humans, primarily because I'm gonna be a teacher, but also because I like them better than adults. But they're almost always so confused by me because blah, 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 short hair and blah, 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 men's clothes, and oh my goodness, aren't gender binaries so boring? So little kids will ask me, "Are you a boy or a girl?" And I'm like, I literally don't know. I just have no interest in these boxes and explaining why I don't fit someone else's version of what someone with a vagina is supposed to look like. So just do me a favor, white America, and instead of asking me if I'm in the wrong bathroom, just let me live. And while you're at it, they, them, their pronouns are the best gift you could give me.
Homonormativity. What is homonormativity? Homonormativity is saying things like, mask only.
Homonormativity is dismissing black women because while you respect black people, you're just not attracted to them.
Homonormativity is gay white men dominating queer TV representation.
And white cis men playing trans women.
Homonormativity is the nation organizing for gay marriage, but not for trans lives. Homonormativity is a privileging set of hierarchies, social norms, and expectations that cause the oppressed to oppress one another. FYI, that was partially a quote from an article by Jason Flores, found on a fabulously gay resource website, www.pride.com. You should check it out if you want to read more about intersectional queerness, gender norms, and homonormativity. Our lives living in grays, receiving blow after blow of othering and stereotyping and silencing, have led to bad mechanisms of coping.
There's this place where institutional racism, stereotypes, systematic inequity, and the general idea that white is right get subliminally and implicitly perpetuated. It's called private school. Getting sent out of the classroom constantly turned into never speaking in class.
Which turned into not understanding the material.
Which turned into getting bad grades.
Which turned into self-hatred.
Which turned into cutting. Which has now been settled into generalized anxiety.
Bipolar disorder.
I was a cutter. Well, I am a cutter. You never stop being a cutter, just like you never stop being an alcoholic.
You either quit cold turkey, or you try to stop and don't.
Or you stop for a long time, and sometimes you slip. It's a process. But it's also a product of having teachers' warped stereotypes and opinions forced upon me until I can't breathe. I can't think. I can't do.
We share scars, and we cross stars. Our intertwined prologues have taught us that we aren't that different. I remember what it feels like to want to spill the milky privileges from my wrists. It sucked and it hurt. The only thing we can do is talk about it. The only thing we can do is find comfort in these shared secrets, but they're still secrets. Self-harm is hush-hush. To quote an article by Gemma Pitchard on pinknews.co.uk, if you mention self-harm, many people will shake their heads or shrug it off, believing it to be the domain of attention-seeking teen girls or misunderstood goth kids. It is seen by many not as a problem that needs care and attention, but as a form of self-indulgent manipulation or self-pity that the person in question will at some point grow out of.
An estimated 170,000 people a year are admitted to hospital through self-harm injuries, and that's before you factor in the many thousands more who may never seek medical help.
What is even more worrying is that people who are LGBTQ seem far more likely to self-harm. So it is our duty, our obligation to speak about it, to somehow let other people like us know that we've been through it and we're here to listen.
To share stories.
To encourage each other to cope in healthy ways. To remind each other that you don't have to cut.
Turn to your friends instead of the blade.
Coming out is a physically, mentally, socially, publicly, privately, intimately, spiritually confusing time. And I actually have 5 phases that outline sort of coming out guidebook for all of you curious new queers in the audience in case this compelling performance has convinced you that you must try our fabulous lifestyle. These are the steps that have worked for me and maybe they can work for you. Phase 1, find your fashion. Phase 2, explore your physical sexuality. It's supposed to say sexuality. Phase 3, probably see a therapist. Phase 4, change your hair. Phase 5, validate your experiences. And that's what we're doing here today. We're in phase 5. We're validating our experiences and letting our voices be heard.
Success to me has always had a certain look. It looks like straight A's and high achieving and high scores and sitting still and listening. Success looks like absorbing information when it gets spit at you and writing it down and taking notes and taking notes and taking notes and memorize and take the test and write the paper and, oh, I hope I got an A. Success looks like a high GPA and win this award and graduate with honors or become a member of some society. Success looks like something that's always been out of reach. Success has never looked like me, until now. Sal and I are both privileged enough to have plans to teach after graduation. This summer I'll be teaching theater in Boston.
And I'm teaching math in New York City. We're privileged enough to understand that there are queer people of color who do not have the advantage of growing up in white neighborhoods financially sound. And we recognize that We recognize that not everyone has access to therapists and psychiatrists and medications, and that is why we must come together to talk about it, to represent the unheard voice.
We will write the narrative together.
Our prologues have been so similar, and we find comfort in that.
Because just when you think the whole world might be against you,
you'll realize that someone might have went through the same thing as you.
We can write the narrative together. Thank you.